All right, pull up a chair because the June jobs report is out, and the man whose department publishes it wants you to hear a boom. 900,000 jobs created, he says. Manufacturing growing. Government trimmed to its leanest since the 60s. One problem. The same building that wrote that press release also wrote the payroll tables, and the tables tell a different story. Today, we read both, side by side, and I will show you exactly where the spin starts. Here is the claim, exactly as the acting labor secretary made it. Keith Sonderling, on his own department's June report, said the administration has created more than 900,000 jobs and, quote, manufacturing employment continues to grow. Continues to grow. That is not a prediction, and it is not an opinion. It is a checkable sentence about the payroll data his own agency releases. So let's check it. Start with June itself. Forecast was expected around 115,000 new jobs. The report delivered 57,000, less than half. And while it was delivering that, the government quietly revised April and May down by a combined 74,000 jobs that turned out not to exist. The secretary called it a fourth straight month of growth, and that is technically true. It is also the tell. The line is still pointing up, but it is bending toward the floor. Now the number they will point to instead. Unemployment held at 4.2%. Sounds like stability. Here is why it held. Labor force participation fell to 61.5%, the lowest since March of 2021. The rate did not stay put because people found jobs. It stayed put because people stopped looking and fell out of the count entirely. That is not a steady labor market. That is a shrinking one wearing a steady rate like a costume. And now, the sentence that is not spin, but arithmetic. Manufacturing employment continues to grow, he said. Factory jobs ticked up about 3,000 in June. That is the entire basis for the word grow. Zoom out to this administration's own tenure and the sign flips. U.S. manufacturing is down roughly 77,000 jobs since February 2025, its first full month, after shedding jobs nearly every month last year. The manufacturing boom was the promise. The payroll data says the boom never showed up for its shift. So who needs June to read as a boom? Follow the story being protected. The whole tariff and tax agenda was sold on one promise, that it would bring the factories home and set the job market on fire. If June is strength, the agenda is working, and the roaring economy speech writes itself. If June is what the tables actually show, cooling hiring, a shrinking workforce, factories in the red, then the flagship promise is underwater, and somebody has to answer for it. That is the whole reason a jobs report gets a victory lap instead of a plan. And from the docket, because we have met this secretary before. 2 weeks ago, right here, we walked through who Keith Sonderling spent his career representing, and it was not the people clocking in. Same man, same department, and now the numbers his agency prints are getting the same treatment his old clients used to get, the most favorable possible read, delivered with total confidence. We told you to watch the paycheck, not the podium. Keep watching. Here is who pays for the gap between the press release and the payroll table. Job seekers first. If you are out there looking right now, you have been told the market is strong, so every rejection reads like a personal failure instead of what it is, a market where hiring is running at half of forecast. And factory workers, the exact people this promise was made to, who are holding a net loss dressed up as a boom. When a slowdown gets named, it gets a response. When it gets spun, the people inside it get gaslit instead. So here is the bottom line. No spin in either direction. Did June grow? Yes, by 57,000 jobs, less than half of forecast, with the 2 prior months revised down. Is the unemployment rate steady? Only because the workforce shrank to a 5-year low. Is manufacturing growing? It is down 77,000 on this administration's own watch. The honest word for this economy is cooling, and workers can handle honest. A labor secretary is entitled to make the best case for the numbers. He is not entitled to a different set of numbers than the ones his own department printed. Now go do something with it. I'm Marcus, and this is Pixel Politics.